Last time on Dice Funk.
I would have waited in line if it was like a week, but at this point it's years. It's completely untenable. You can't go on like this.
You're not wrong, but everyone feels that way, and everyone... the answer to that problem can't be everyone jumps the queue.
Well, that's the only option I see. How about let us bring back the queen, we'll annex your little village, and then we can all be friends. How about that? You want to join our kingdom?
I think the move that wins it is it's something that was said earlier in the fight. I think Barbella throws her book of riddles, her spell focus, up in the air, with having had so much conversation of this is a big, heavy book, maybe it's heavier than it looks, just to get that little second of distraction to go for a really big stab through the torso. Stab into the torso, book bonks on the head. Was not as heavy as it had been played up to be.
Alright, you swim over, you scoop up the isopod scale, and you turn back to see that Allison, the Medusa, throws herself into the Well of Resurrection still alive.
She's a ghost puppeting her own living body, which is full of worms, which if we put a body part in, would have, broken down, and the bits of worm would have ended up being the body of the brought back person, but there's no body to repair, so there's just worms. A worm riddled body full of ghost, puppeted by a ghost.
Whatever. Look, I want to make it clear that this whole endeavor with your church is stupid. I think everything you're doing here is pathetic. And at this point, I want the body back.
Of course, it is not your body, it's Master Ever's body, and our deal was that you would jump the sacred queue we've all sworn to protect because you got here early before the vibe checkers upstairs started doing their thing. You are what's known as a grandfather clause. So look that up if you have the time.
Hi, I'm gonna be slightly more polite than my friend here. Is there any chance we could cross your land? We are on a religious pilgrimage, you might call it, and the joy of religion is that I'm kind of following a compass bearing in my head a little bit.
Well, first of all, nice to meet y'all. I'm Lucius. I'm running the ranch hands around here. To answer your question, no. This is our land, and you can, I believe the technical term is, fuck yourself. So,
Boyce lets Gaudi pick up the item and retrieve it for him. I'll note that Boyce doesn't brandish any wands or whatever. I mean, they have their green plans, green prints rather, out and available, and their manifested mind kind of floating around their head, showing different schematic patterns, mathematical equations, maybe a mathematical riddle or two, maybe. But what is the item that was thrown towards Reaper?
Boyce, you recognize this pin? You've seen one like it before. It has a yellow banana on it.
Oh, banana boys.
How about y'all get?
I had a question when I opened up Roll20. I was like, what did I crit on at the end? And then I remembered it was the sneak to tell that guy to eat shit and sneak through his land.
Yeah, we were trying to get away from a big group of people who also want to find the next vent. Was that right?
It's this guy's property, Lucius, the blue dragon sea slug.
We were trying to sneak across the cattle farm.
Yep. There was a homestead with some rowdy cowboys who were threatening you, including Lucius, the Blue Dragon slug folk, and you all rolled really well, or specifically Reaper, you used your pass without a trace. So that's how we're going to start this episode, is you all paint me a picture of sneaking across this farm, which is employed by a number of rough-looking folk. They all have wands, like 6-shooters, and they're kind of patrolling around. It's like a Red Dead stealth mission, but with the crit and the spell, I mean, you succeed as well as you can. So what does this look like?
I like to think that Reaper is contrary to how stealth would normally be. I like to think that she is like very proudly taking up as much space as possible as she sneaks. Like she is like arms out to the side and like kind of like I don't want to say stomping, but she's just like she feels very proud in this moment, because before it was just like, hey, we're gonna take a shortcut through your house, and he's like, I'll fucking kill you if you do. And she's like, fine. And then she just snuck through. So she's just proudly kind of like marching through like, yeah, dickhead, try to stop me now.
I think Barbella's approach is very different. Her big brainwave is muddy puddle. She's just going to drop and roll and just try and muddy herself up and then just commando crawl through the grass. Be like, just don't be suspicious. I am part of the ground. It's fine.
Boyce's approach with their 28 is going to be trying to kind of stay fairly close to Reaper behind, but what I'd like to picture is that between Boyce and anyone who might be watching him, they have Gowdy like slithering, floating along, and if there's a possible risk of being caught, like Gowdy shifts into like the form of like a rock effectively for Boyce to hide behind, and then it just keep going. So like it's like, I don't see anyone here, but this rock keeps moving along. That's nothing suspicious.
The Metal Gear Solid approach.
Exactly. Because as we know, guards do not have object permanence, so and that must apply here as well, right? Other people don't have object permanence?
So there are a number of things on this farm you can take note as if you sneak across, whether you're crawling in the dirt or hiding behind a mathematical rock. As I said last episode, there are krill, these tiny shrimp that are being herded around in huge shoals, kind of like sheep in a pasture. And there are a number of mounted cowboys who are doing that on back of the hippocampi, as we discussed. There are also kind of fields of edible kelp being grown, the way fruits and vegetables are on land, and then there are also clusters of clams and oysters and various shellfish like that being grown, like specifically cultivated in areas. So this is a pretty big agricultural place, and part of the reason you had to go through it instead of sneaking around is because it's so huge that you would lose so much time. Whoever's trying to follow you to the vent would definitely catch up, be able to keep better tabs on you. So you going right through is kind of an arduous, difficult task, Barbella, especially if you're crawling on your stomach. But you make good time and presumably lose the bulk of your pursuers. So that's pretty good.
I think after a while, Barbella stops commando crawling and just starts rolling sideways like a log to pick up speed. Just real quickly roll.
Yeah. Just a slight decline. Oh, I could take advantage of this. It just starts tumbling on down.
It's funny you say that, because I was literally about to say there is a decline as you are reaching the edge of the land, because they, cultivated as much as they could on this kind of surface, because it's important to get sunlight for photosynthesis, for the natural growing of a lot of these things and the cycle of life here. But at the edge of like a cliff, you see it drops down into less hospitable waters as you reach the edge.
Uh-oh. You can't see it. I'm shaking visibly. Is there a rail that I can grind down on?
I wasn't thinking there was, but now there definitely is.
I 100% rail grind down.
How does that work underwater? I want this for you.
It looks awesome. That's how it looks.
Because you roll around at the speed of sound. That's how it works.
I'm following my rainbow.
You've got places to go. You've got to follow your
my shadow rainbow. All the colors of shadows.
You know what? Fuck it, we ball. Let's say there's like volcanic ridges here, because it's not like they put up a grind rail, right? Is this just part of the natural land is the grind rail? Is that what we're picturing?
Sure, yeah. It's enough that visually as a player you're able to identify at a moment's notice that this is something I'm supposed to grind on, but it looks more natural compared to like the city grind rails and stuff like that.
It's part of nature, but the people working on the sort of farmland painted a little white line along the edge of it so you wouldn't accidentally walk off the edge, but now it's like, oh, I see the white paint, that's an interaction.
I was literally about to say, The Last of Us yellow paint that everyone got really mad about for some reason. Can I get, let's say, athletics rolls? Because this is essentially skateboarding, which is an athletic achievement, I believe.
Sure.
All right. Like, but here's my +0 at play here.
Yeah. 21.
17.
That'd be a 2 for Boyce.
Also, as someone that played The Last of Us with high contrast mode on, where everything is just highlighted in big bold colors, I will never understand the people upset about the paint. I'm like, nah, just tell me what the fuck to click on.
All right, so you sneak through the farm unnoticed because you're incredible rolls, and you come across a volcanic ridge that goes down deeper into the ocean, and you're going to grind on it, presumably for style points. Maybe it's also faster. We can discuss how this looks, but the group succeeds. I will say, Boyce, with your 2. That is kind of a catastrophic failure. So I'm actually going to roll up 1 damage. You take 1 damage as your, some obsidian, some, volcanic glass or something kind of cuts through. I assume you're wearing some sort of boot or something, and nicks the bottom of your foot, but not a big deal.
Oh no, it's scuffed. Oh, it's like shucks. I just had these things. I had these things touched up. I'm gonna have to go back to the cobbler, I think is the right term for a bootsmith, effectively. Anyways.
Yeah. All right, so you all are going to do city escape down into the bottom. What is this? I need, once again, I've just for the second time in the episode, Reaper has done something so awesome that I need you to describe it to me.
I want to know Reaper is going down, knowing she looks so cool, and she is like whispering to herself cool lyrics. We joked that we're doing the city escape theme, but she is absolutely singing throw it all away instead. Like she's right now in like, I am the coolest, darkest, almost awesome person to ever exist. She is absolutely in her element at this moment. The element is darkness.
I'd say that in Boyce's case, there are several cases where they're about to lose their balance and they have to kind of rely on Gotti's just like floating alongside for support, and then realize, oh wait a minute, I could probably just hold on to Gowdy. That would give me the balance needed to go down here. I made this way harder on myself for no good reason.
The only way I can imagine Barbella grinding down is by putting the anchor under one foot and the crab leg under the other and kind of making it like skis and going down that way.
I think you, at a certain point, as you go deeper down, you hit a slipstream, which gives you like a boost, like you're hitting a boost pad in Sonic. And I think you need to jump. Yes. You need to jump from one volcanic ridge to another. Can I get an acrobatics to switch grind rails?
Okay, not
15.
12.
All right, 12 and 15 pass. The groove passes. Once again, I think you just jump Barbella, and there's a jagged rock that you have to brace yourself on for a minute, and you're going to take 3 damage.
Yeah, mid-air Barbella realizes that anchor on one foot, crab leg on the other is not an even weight distribution, and she starts just sort of tilting one direction mid-jump, and it doesn't go great.
But I like this. So you're going down these grind rails. You're making great speed. In fact, I'm going to roll because there are people who are trying to follow you to the Well of Resurrection, and let's see how well they're doing.
Come on.
Poorly.
Double,
We're
triple botch.
so fast
botch,
right
botch,
now.
Botch.
14. They're doing okay. I mean, you don't know that. That's just for me. But they're doing their best. 15, I think, was really what they wanted to be at now. But let's say you go down kind of a level of ocean here. So there's there's actually like proper names for all the levels. Basically, you don't need to memorize them. But you're getting further away from the surface. It's getting darker here, and you see something strange ahead of you, kind of where the grind rail lets you off. You kind of slide to a stop in front of it. I will remind you all, Allison is with you. She is the merfolk with the basket star, the orange basket star hair. It's kind of like writhing and pulsing all the time. She's got a worm in her. It was a whole thing last episode.
She's got a few worms in her.
Yeah, I like to think that the worms, the reason why she's not rolling for checks is because the worms are just allowing her to automatically pass all these early checks with her new, like, imbued body, effectively.
Yeah, she's really cool. And she's trying to impress Barbella specifically. Like, look, I did a sick flip. But as you come to this kind of sliding stop at the end of the grind rail, you see something strange ahead of you. It appears to be a large crater. It's not like a deep, like a darkness, like, like a well. But it's a strange, maybe impact site or something in the sea floor where you are. I don't know how you want to think about that. I would say there's some discoloration in the nearby area. These are all things that could be rolled for.
Big rock crashed into the ocean.
Right, yeah. The question is, this seems like possibly a crater caused by an impact of some sort. Is there a way to intuit what the impact object was? Yeah.
Is this what happens when the riddle fish drops a new laminated book of riddles into the world? It sort of crashes in a big impact crater.
I will say, let's get nature checks on this crater. It is like deep enough that like if you jumped into it, like you could. It'd be difficult to climb out, but once again, not so far that you can't see the bottom.
16.
I take it that Reaper's not okay there.
I was gonna say 5. I probably shouldn't have, and just like instead like quietly went Super Saiyan in like Euphoria afterwards. But Reaper rolled a 5.
So I rolled an 8, but that's because my bonus is a +7. Boyce botched on nature, which so let's have some fun here.
Yeah, not only did the group fail, but we have a botch on the board. So the only thing I'll say is, looking around, you don't see a rock. So that just to offhandedly dismiss the rock theory. There's a big crater here with a botch. I'm not going to say much more, but like as you approach, Reaper, do you want to say anything about the 6th slide you just did?
I am the most powerful warrior and the coolest at grinding. Perhaps I am multiple ultimates.
The way you phrased that, I thought you were gonna like end it with "Who am I?" and it was gonna be a riddle. But no, apparently it was you. I see. Okay.
The answer is me. The answer to all riddles is Reaper is awesome.
Don't know that I've ever seen that in the book.
Allison says that you don't even have a worm in you. Imagine how sick you'd be with worms.
I believe I can get even stronger than what a worm can make me. A worm is a pathetic shortcut, actually.
It's a shortcut to being better at riddles, which is pretty cool.
Are there riddles that have the answer shadow in your riddle book?
There are, but they're all like
those ones are about me.
They all have like the same setup, but like they try and make it sound like it's different riddles, but it's all the same riddle.
I would like to propose what's happening to Boyce in this meantime, Austin.
Sure.
Austin, Boyce is really trying to figure out what's going on here, and is going to like kind of like gaze at the ground and just sort of like wander off away from the group, kind of distracted by trying to rack their brain over what's going on here. So I'm just going to say they're either aimlessly walking towards the center of this crater or otherwise. But that's what I'm going to offer up as like a starting point for what happens as a result of their botch.
Yeah, so 2 things. One, are you actually entering the crater? Because that's like a commitment.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Second thing is, can I get a Constitution saving throw?
You got it. I'm like, what would be a good thing to do with the botch here? That's another botch there. That's a 3.
Oh, no.
Oh.
I wasn't prepared for this to get this bad this quickly.
Well, to give you a second to prepare for that, Barbella is going to start reading some shadow riddles quickly. I can only live where there is light, but I die if the light shines on me. What am I?
Darkness.
Well, if it's a shadow, but I suppose, yeah.
I just like that she knows. Just a second ago, she asked for a riddle with the answer of shadow. She still gets it kind of wrong.
Okay, I've got one more for you, but I don't think you're gonna like I think you're gonna disagree with this one. Only one color, but not one size. Stuck at the bottom, yet I easily fly. Present in sun, but not in rain. Doing no harm and feeling no pain. What am I?
A shuriken I've thrown so precisely that it impales the nervous system in the brain, rendering one unable to feel anything, but still being killed.
Well, I think that would be doing harm. I think you would be doing harm with that shuriken. The answer is shadow.
But if they're dead, how do they feel any pain?
Well, no. It's that the subject of the riddle feels no pain. So in this case, the shuriken feels no pain?
Shurikens can never feel pain.
We're not saying that the person you throw the shuriken at feels no pain.
I believe they don't. They're already dead.
What's as big as an elephant but weighs nothing at all?
I could find someone to test this theory on if you'd like. Addison, would you like to be a subject?
Okay, yeah, during the background of all this, whatever calamity is occurring now.
So, Boyce, as they're talking about shadow riddles, you kind of wander over to inspect the crater, and as you put your body into it, without really ascertaining any information about it, you feel very bad and strange. You botched in your constitution, so first of all, you're just going to straight up take 5 damage and take a level of exhaustion, as you feel very ill. You don't know why exactly. You try to turn to say something to the others, and no matter what you tell me, you try to say, you don't hear any sound come out of your mouth. So that's the first thing.
Okay, that's a good start.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to think that like Gaudi's just seated by the edge, just looking at Boyce, and they can't speak either, but like it's just that's sort of the image. The Boyce just like trying to call for help, but no one can hear.
No one's noticed anything wrong. Right, we confidently stride onward toward the vent, correct? Everyone in the party who's still here?
That's a great question. So if neither of you noticed that Boyce has entered the crater, I guess I can get a religion check from Barbella to see if you even know which direction to go in.
Right, religion. $18.
Pretty good, yeah. You know that you have to go, past the crater. It's in your way, essentially. And it's pretty big, but, I'll just say that's straight up. You need to go past the crater.
Okay, would it be quicker to go down and back up the other side, or to go around?
I mean, you're underwater, so it would be quicker just to swim over it.
Okay, we'll swim over it, having a look down as we go to see if there's anything of interest happening down there. In that boring crater that no one went down to explore.
Well, yeah, that's the question, right? So, Boyce, you're like sinking downward. You find you can't really speak, and then you can't breathe. That's not good. Barbella, you start swimming over the crater, and you also find yourself having difficulty breathing. I need a Constitution save from you, and as you look down, you see Boyce sinking.
Okay. Constitution. 11.
All right, that is not going to do it. You are going to take 6 damage, and you are also going to take a level of exhaustion. If you try to speak, you cannot, and if you try to breathe, you cannot. I will say, Reaper, you see Barbella and Boyce seemingly struggling, and with Boyce having gone down into the crater specifically, there is maybe give me a perception to notice something about that.
Okay. Perception from Reaper is I got an 18.
Ooh, perfect. I will say there seems to be something different about the water in the crater than in the ocean around it. In other words, there is a lake in the ocean.
Oh.
Very intriguing.
Presumably something very dense, I would imagine.
Uh-huh. This sounds like some fantasy bullshit I made up. Nope, this is literally just a real thing.
So, is Reaper smart enough to know at this point that 2 people have wandered into this and it's bad for them?
That's a great character question, I guess, because they can't say anything or breathe right now, but presumably they're flailing.
I imagine Reaper is like standing at the edge of this and she's kind of crossed her arms and she's like, "Why is everybody flailing? Why don't you get out of there? Hello? Why is no one answering Reaper?"
I want to try and react to this situation. I'm going to ask the question that always gets asked to a DM. Do I have rope up on my person? Is this like a default thing that I have as an adventurer? Do I have rope?
I think so, yeah. I think underwater rope is probably a little different, but yeah, let's
so I
go
have
with
a
it.
vague plan. I would like to tie some rope to my anchor and try and throw the anchor to be so that it sticks in outside the crater. So at the very least, there's a limit to how much I'm gonna descend.
All right. I mean, throwing things is usually dexterity, so let's get maybe a dexterity saving throw to see if you can hook the edge.
Okay. 13?
Yeah, I think you can prevent this from getting worse, but you do not immediately solve it by hooking the edge of this.
Okay. I'm not gonna go too much further down than is necessary. So it's not gonna help anyone else, but it's helping me.
Is there this is a weird question to ask. Is there darkness inside of this area?
No, not really at all. That's
Okay.
something interesting about it is it didn't seem like dark and spooky, which is maybe kind of lured some of you into a false sense of security about it.
I feel like Reaper's gonna make this worse, but I like to think that she's just like, how bad could this possibly be? You just swim, you idiots, and she wants to enter into the area. I just think that's how her mind would work. She's like, what? How bad could this be? You just swim.
Perfect. Constitution saving throw.
I'm sorry.
I would like to think that Goudy's like right at the edge and tries to stop Reaper, but it's futile. You know,
8.
All right, you are also going to take 2 damage as you begin choking out as well. Allison, standing on the edge, has watched all 3 party members walk into what is called a brine pool, which is essentially profoundly salty, dense water trapped underneath regular ocean water. It does not have oxygen, which is why none of you can breathe, and it cannot transmit sound because there's no oxygen in the water around you. Extremely deadly to life.
Well, this is why, as a reward for us bringing in the extra NPC, they now save us with no rolls required and no negative consequences because we made that good, important narrative choice earlier, didn't we, DM?
You sure did something. She's gonna try to help, but I want you to help me do something here. I don't want the NPC just to solve it for you.
Is it not possible to just try to use my own physical power to like swim out?
Yeah, if you want to do strength saving throw to just try to power through it, but it'll have to get worse before it gets better. So failing is going to be difficult.
9.
Yeah, you try to swim, and the thing about the brine is that it's denser. It's because it's so salty. It is harder to swim through, and you're getting like sucked down into water without oxygen in it. So, because of that failure, you're gonna take your first level of exhaustion as well, and 3 more damage.
all right. I am going to use shape. I can use shape water to change the flow of water as I direct up to 5 feet in any direction. So I can basically use it to make the denser water flow upwards to push me towards the perimeter.
All right, so you can try to shape the water to move yourself. Can I get a Arcana check because this is a cantrip to see how well it goes?
That's a botch as well.
No.
I mean, like
triple botch.
yeah. I mean, like it's just. I mean, you can do that with what you will. It's just like all the other spells I have as resources have verbal components. So I can't cast any of them, and I felt like it'd be kind of a cheat to just say Goudy floats in and pulls Boyce out, right?
I am gonna say before we started recording, Skitch did roll a crit as a test roll, and we joked about the crit being the crits being used up in advance of recording, and I think unfortunately that has come to pass.
Yeah, an interesting thing is you try to control the water with your magic, and you pull the kind of flow around you, and there appears to be a bunch of fish and crabs and things that you pull up with you. They seem normal, and you look at them, and they are dead. They've been dead for a long time, but the salinity of the water has preserved them. Like jerky. So a really freaky thing about these death traps is like at first glance they appear to be full of animals. You're like, oh, that can't be that dangerous, but they are actually essentially preserved. It's really, really scary. I'm going to read this. When an organism enters a brine pool, they attempt to breathe the environment and experience cerebral hypoxia due to the lack of oxygen and toxic shock from the hypersalinity. So you're just going about your business and suddenly you're in turbo super poison.
Trying to look over my sheet to see if I have anything that is interesting. It feels like it could help. I have water vehicle proficiency, Austin. Is there an ocean bike around here, like an ocean motorcycle I could ride out on?
That's perfectly preserved because of the salt, yes.
Uh-huh.
If it helps, there is a Barbella at the end of a rope hanging down here. So you don't have to get all the way to the top. You just got to get as far as Barbella and rope.
Right. Basically, the thing that's interesting about the fractal mascot, the fractal familiar, is that it can change its relative density at kind of at will. So I guess the thought is that it can... I guess the one thing I'll point out is that it takes damage if it ends its turn within a quote-unquote object. I don't know if we're going to consider the brine pool an object to be within. And also, it's immune to being poisoned because it's a construct. So, So, I mean, Gotti can be guided into the space by Boyce to help. And, I can start with that whole process as well.
If your familiar can't be damaged because they're immune to poison, then there's not really any limits. I don't see any, thing that would stop them from helping you. The question is just like, how fast can they help you?
Right. And I think, right, in that case, there would be just probably some flat check to determine that, depending on what the ability score is, whether it's dex, strength, or whatever else, determine the speed at which they can administer help.
I think I'm going to do Constitution saving throw again. Essentially, you're drowning underwater as a fish, which I think is kind of a terrible thing.
All right. So this is Boyce doing the Constitution saving throw in this case, then, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that one was, there's a 1 there. There's a 17. So it's not a botch, at least. I broke my streak, at least.
Yeah, with the 17, you can hold your breath as this fractal starts lifting you out. If it can change its density, you say? Is that specifically like an ability that it has that you want to read?
So relative density is just, the term is just relative density. It just refers to the fact that the fractal can move through creatures and objects as if they were difficult terrain, kind of at will. And then the other side of the fractal is its ability to augment and diminish. Augmenting being able to increase its size from small all the way to huge, and diminish allows it to go to shrink down to as small as 1 foot in height. So basically, it can become any of those sizes, and it can move through objects and creatures.
It's like Ant-Man and Vision in one.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think if it gets small and like sinks under you, then gets big to like push you up, it can't asphyxiate, so it's fine. It can save you. Barbella, you're attached to the edge of the brine pool, and Reaper, you're just you're floating and choking.
Okay. Barbella is going to hold onto the rope with one hand and use the other hand to try and do a melee attack against Reaper. Now, there is a reason for this. If I successfully hit, I can use Fury of the Tides to knock the target of my attack 10 feet, which I would use to try and knock Reaper 10 feet up toward the surface.
All right.
So I'm going to try and do an attack roll on Reaper. Nine. Does that hit?
Is it a shame if Reaper tries to instinctively dodge? It's like, you'll never land a shot on me like that.
I was going to ask, can you opt to get hit? But no, of course you won't.
That's very funny.
Well, that plan Failed, I guess. Fine, Barbella holds out the crab leg, going, Reaper, just hold the thing.
Reaper will take it. The challenge is I have disadvantage on everything now to try to escape using like a skill. So
That's fine, just climb up Barbella and up the rope.
yeah, I mean, is that possible to do that and then try to pull the rope up afterwards?
Climb up the rope, climb up the Barbella.
Yeah, I think Reaper wants to reach out to this crab leg and is going to like ultimate ninja warrior her way to like start climbing through it and up Barbella and just like use that as sort of her handling to try to pull herself up out of this space and get out of the well, so then she can try to at least pull Barbella out separately once she gets out.
Do it, go.
All right, so you're gonna roll acrobatics.
Yeah, if I can. This is with disadvantage because I have a level of exhaustion. But I rolled an 18 as my lower option.
All right, so Reaper, you grab onto Barbella, who tried to punch you to safety, and instead you scramble up her and the rope to the edge. I will say this was enough to hold one person, one very big person, not enough to hold two. The anchor rips out of the edge, and as you jump to safety, Barbella floats away.
Oh no!
Cool.
Hold on.
If only you'd let me hit you.
Oh gosh, do I have anything that can help here?
Austin, I have a stupid plan.
Perfect.
Can I hit myself, like, swing the crab leg down and, like, up at myself to knock myself up with my 10 feet of propulsion?
You just asked me if you could knock yourself up. I just wanted to let everyone kind of simmer in that for a second.
I would like to know if I can knock myself up with Fury of the Tides.
Let's read Fury of the Tides. You may channel...
As a bonus action, an open sea paladin can channel the power of the ocean for 1 minute to enhance their weapon attacks. Once per turn for the duration, they can choose to push a creature hit by their weapon attack 10 feet away from themselves. It's 10 feet away from themselves, not from the weapon. I wanted to push me 10 feet away via the weapon.
Can I, as this anchor is unhooking and drifting away, reach out with my harpoon and try to use that to like hook the anchor and try to stop it? I could, not necessarily risk. I might risk losing my harpoon in all of this, but like that's Reaper's first thought of like how to get into it without just jumping back into this death trap.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing a lot of mid-air gymnastics and twists and subtle maneuvers. Can I get sleight of hand here for you trying to do something kind of tricky and complicated?
Yeah, unfortunately, I still have exhaustion even after escaping the pool.
Correct.
Oh, that's unfortunate. 14 with disadvantage.
I needed 15 for you to succeed in what you were trying to do, but 14 is above average, so something else happens. You reach out with your harpoon trying to hook the rope and anchor as it rips free and falls into the brine pool. At this point, Allison, who's been watching, runs up your arm, Reaper, up the harpoon, and leaps, and then a giant tube worm bursts out of her palm like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man web shooters, and grabs onto Barbella.
They can do that.
Cool. Barbella starts climbing everything.
Oh my god. Constitution saving throw, Barbella, to see if you can hold your breath.
I've been doing alright so far. 19.
Yeah, perfect. Pay me these pictures.
But I think Barbella's done a lot of breath control practice for like not getting worn out when doing big sort of like like trying to do runs and things. He's practicing like good breath control. So I think Barbella has gotten into the mindset of, okay, just don't think about the needs of your body for a minute. This is how sport works, and is just climbing this as if it was like gym class climbing a rope. Just don't think about the setting. Just do the gym workout activity you've done a dozen times before.
You're the only one who didn't get exhaustion, right? Because you nailed all your constitutions.
Yeah.
That makes sense. You're kind of an athletic person, so I think as you all kind of roll onto the edge of the brine pool, huffing and puffing, spitting up salt water, you're the only one who is not, going to have a rough rest of your day. But yeah, you all are basically safe now. You took some damage. It hurt to breathe all that, but nobody died. You did. Here's the consequence of this whole adventure. You lost your rope and anchor.
Ugh. Fine.
You still have a weapon.
Good anchor. It was a good anchor.
But Allison saved you.
My dual-wielding dreams will never come to pass now.
Oh my gosh.
You'll just need to get another crab leg from someone, you know?
Just going back and asking to borrow another leg.
Yeah, people lose legs all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's not do that again, team. Around? Around.
Yeah, around sounds like the better play to mosey along on. Ugh. Actually, before we do that, I gotta do something here. And Boyce is going to take just a moment to set up a little sign that just says, brine pool, keep out.
Wow.
Wait, no. We'll put that sign there on the way back. Right now, it's probably to our benefit that we don't signpost it.
Yes, anyone trying to follow us will die in the brine pool.
All right, I'm going to roll to see if your pursuers are smart enough to realize that they shouldn't enter a brine pool. 14, again, I think. They got 14 last time. So they're following you at an above average but not excellent pace.
Reaper, I know it goes against all of your instincts. I will never swing a weapon against you unless it is trying to save your life. Please do your best to not dodge if I try and hit you.
I'm sorry. My instincts are trained and honed so well that I dodge attacks instantaneously without even thinking. A subconscious, incredible talent of mine.
I know, but you know what would be an even more incredible great talent? Not avoiding the thing that would save your life.
But in the end, we all managed to escape thanks to our own collective skills and like a worm rope. Could you just do that naturally?
I can now. Do you want to see? And she shoots the worm out of her arm into your kind of face and personal space.
Reaper is going to no-sell it in her face. She just has her arms crossed in a humph way,
But she is going to openly say, "That's fucking awesome."
Incredible. Yeah, it's just kind of like flopping kind of bonelessly against you. And she's smiling like a little weirdo. It's just like, look at it. It's so cool.
Boyce is still coughing up a bit, wringing out their coat and hat. There's this denser salt water just dripping down onto the ground inexplicably as they're just gathering themselves up from all that. Sorry, I didn't realize what we were getting ourselves into there. I'll try to keep a better eye out going forward, everyone.
It's fair. No one died, and we're all stronger for the experience. I mean, not immediately. In fact, you and I are both considerably weaker. But we will be stronger in the long run.
Yes. I can see the little marker over your head indicating that exhaustion level as well. Yeah, so unfortunately, we're going to be roughing it for a bit here.
This is the benefit of a good exercise routine. You gotta get on top of the fact that if you hold your breath for 20 minutes, your brain is going to tell you, I need oxygen, what are you doing? But you can just kind of power through that. Your body doesn't need that much air.
You just tell that brain, shut up, this is for your own benefit.
Yeah, you're trying to run a marathon and it's my legs are burning. They're telling me that I should stop running. There's too much lactic acid buildup. And you say, no, stop being weak little cowards, and you keep running.
All right, you all pick yourselves up and go around the brine pool. Presumably someone's still chasing after you. Allison will tell you all that, the Queen's Guard is like I said, probably going to try to stop you from using the thing, but they don't have the Queen's remains, so I don't know what their end game is going to be.
Could there be more than one set of Queen's remains? Like, might they just also have some Queen's remains?
Yeah, she's an urchin type of Medusa fish person, so she has a bunch of spines.
Yeah, that's my assumption, that, like, while we were working out what was up with you, they probably just, like, grabbed another bit of the Queen, I would guess.
Yeah. I'm sorry about all this. I guess I should have waited in line, but you don't understand how urgent it all is. There's a whole... I mean, the new king is a really bad dude. Say what you want about monarchy, but some kings are better than others.
My job is to like, I'm down on the rung. Like, someone else makes the decisions, and my job is to go act the decision out. And I like my job. I like that I have a job that leads me to sometimes go interact with a religious deity. That's pretty cool. Not many people get to do that in their 9 to 5. And I'm sorry that the system sucks.
Wait, are you planning on being a low-level hench person forever? Or you're not trying to be like the cardinal of the Riddlefish?
I mean, that'd be cool, but, like, I'm not really the thinky type. I mean, I try, but did you see any of the riddles in the church, any of the ones that I tried to write?
Didn't you did all the smart ones about darkness and shadow? I heard those back there. You seem good at thinking.
No, those were from the book. Those are from the holy text. Mine are not at the level that, I'm not producing riddles at this point that I would expect to see in a Holy Text Volume 2, like the sequel to the Riddlefish riddles, But that's okay. I'm happy just doing my best, and maybe I'll get there one day, but just big gains in riddle learning for now.
Is that the goal? Is to do riddles on the level of the riddle snake? It's not like just appreciating them. You're trying to emulate them.
I mean, I can't speak for everyone. Some of us just appreciate the riddles for what they are and the teachings they provide. But I know for me that's the goal. I want to see enough of the world and do enough things and learn enough that I can continue that work, that I can put things into the world that someone else might learn something from, and that chain of thinking about a thing and then realizing something new and then learning something about the world through that can keep going. Because, like, as long as there's new things in the world, there's new things there could be riddles about. And any holy text of riddles, no matter how sacred it was when created, isn't gonna reflect the changing world unless we make riddles within the changing world.
You sound like you're full of worms.
Oh, I wish I was full of worms. Now that I know that's an option, I kind of wish I'd thrown myself in the hole.
Oh, is that heretical?
I could have so many riddle worms in me. I don't know. The riddle pope didn't tell me, like, this is... I was worried that by letting you do that, like, I was going to break the religion, and, like, the riddle bishop didn't seem to think that the religion was broken by that, so maybe it's not heretical. Maybe this is how we get closer to God. I don't know. These are questions for someone who can come up with riddles better than my little post-it note ones.
As you're saying that, you have circumnavigated the brine pool. Can I get survival checks as you kind of exit this area?
All right, here. That's a 5 for Boyce with disadvantage.
16.
10.
All right, even with two of you having disadvantage from the exhaustion, the group passes with the 10 and 16. So, Barbella, you are able to grab Boyce before they swim into the path of a geothermal vent here, which suddenly spews up a white cloud ahead of you. And you can kind of peer over the edge of an underwater cliff and see below you the seabed is extremely volcanically active. The kind of last couple places you've been, the farm, which was fed by nitrogen spewed from underwater vents, the volcanic grind rails made from the magma glass, and then the brine pool, which is that's highly salinated water, which it comes out from underground. All of these things are incredible indicators of volcanic activity. And as you look ahead of you, you see dozens of black and white smokers, these kind of vents, which are belching up an obscuring cloud ahead of you. It is extremely worrying that you need to head through all of this.
All right. part of Boyce is thinking, I wonder if this is stuff that might be resources for building homes and such. The other part of it is, tarnation, we got to get ourselves through all these things and not suffocate.
Allison reaches out a hand and, in the smoke, grabs some of the stuff coming out and tastes it and says, yucky.
I'll be the judge of that. I want to taste some.
All right, Constitution saving throw.
Well, what about a 4?
4 is very bad. Do I have to keep hurting poor Reaper? This is not on purpose. Oh, gosh. All right. You're going to take 3 damage. That was heavy metals. You don't want to eat too much of that coming out of the bottom of the ocean because, that's not good for you. Barium, calcium, and silicon is what you just ate.
Can I scoop some up and put it in a little jar, though, to make weapons out of later?
Oh, my gosh. Sure. Can I get... I'm actually going to say investigation here to kind of harvest the vents.
Interesting.
A skill I'm already negative in with disadvantage. 4.
Yeah, you can collect a vial full of rock and stuff, but it just you're not knowledgeable enough to know that it's not going to be useful later with a 4.
In her mind, she's like, perfect. The ultimate weapon is in production.
Barbella's looking through her own stack of riddles that she wrote herself to look for insight because, she's got to have come up with something useful at some point. And the closest she gets is Neil Armstrong really strong? Probably. His last name explains it to me.
Oh my god.
It's like, nah, it's... No, not quite.
I was going to say because the chances are astronomical.
Oh, see, that would be someone who could come up with a good riddle, unlike, Barbella, who is, she's doing the research, she just can't come up with her own, apparently.
I don't like that you're making Neil Armstrong canon in our universe. Is he a orc? What is what is happening?
He throws the rocket to the moon. That's how it got there.
Look, it's a setting in which space travel exists. Fine. Breel Armstrong.
Okay.
He was one of the early space explorers in the setting.
All right. So, Barbella, you have to go through this field of smokers. In front of you, dozens of black and white ones throwing up thick, heavy clouds of particulate matter, all different kinds. So you don't know that they're all dangerous or how dangerous any given one is. What do you do?
Okay. Can Barbella treat this sort of maze of dangerous things like a riddle and attempt to religiously divine a route through this confusing situation?
You know what? I think that is probably what the riddle snake wants. I think
Yeah.
you've anticipated my trap card. Religion saving throw, which is wisdom saving throw.
Cool. 20. Thank you, Austin. You're great. We love
All
you.
right. That's sick. No, this is good. So explain to me how the terrain is a riddle that you solve while I roll for your pursuers. They have got 14, 14, and 18. Nice.
Yeah. So I think that the way we've been traveling so far is that Barbella has just been, as the crow flies, going, what feels like the least likely direction, I feel it's over there. And I think she's having to sort of reassess that method to navigate this, which is, if you were designing this like a puzzle, if you were designing it to require thought, where would you go? It's the A on the multiple choice test wouldn't be right. You know, that doesn't feel correct. I think this is the logic Barbella is trying to follow, is how would these events be laid out in a world where the divine answer feels like the right answer and not like the answer is just walk down the middle, it's fine. You know, what feels like the most winding, circuitous route that would stop people progressing? Go wherever that feels like.
Yeah, like when you played enough video games, you like know like how dungeon design works, and you're like, I'm going to go the wrong way first because there's going to be a treasure chest, and then I'm going to go the way
Yeah.
with all the enemies because then there's going to be like a switch I have to pull before I go the quote unquote right way.
You make a turn right before you start getting complacent and feel like running straight forward would be safe. That's exactly when you turn.
Yeah, obviously this looks too good to be true. There's a skeleton hiding behind that door, and he's going to push me off into the void. I've played Dark Souls.
Yeah, that charred body looks like it would be a sign that, you know, we go that way and we get burned, but it's such an obvious sign we've got to go that way, like it's a red herring.
Yeah, perfect. So you're weaving between these different vents as you enter basically a maelstrom of smoke. It becomes very difficult to see. Even the white smoke is obscuring all around you. You're almost like in the center of a storm here as you're going. But you, with your great roll, catch in the distance glimmering light as if reflecting off the scales of the great serpent. Paradoxically, like the riddles themselves, this creature's physical form is hard to wrap your mind around. It appears to have silvery scales, but which reflect like rainbow light from the sun, which is seemingly impossible, and yet it persists. It's in the distance. You see it weaving through clouds of great plumes of smoke.
I will note on the way through the maze of vents, Barbella does want to tweak a couple of the things that were signs for her, so that they're not quite the same as she passes through, so that anyone trying the same trick will have misleading clues now.
Oh, that's interesting. All right, deception to mess with your pursuers.
5.
Oh, that was a good idea, though.
Yeah.
I like that you're like, you try to move like a charred body to make it seem, less dangerous or whatever. But maybe you accidentally kick over some rocks that block the vent, so now it's just not dangerous at all.
Yeah, I gave it a try.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we seem to be in distance of the vent, Barbella is going to waste no time and start sprinting toward that vent.
So yeah, you are in this great cloud of dozens of
we're still
vents.
in. Sorry, yes.
Yeah, no. In the distance, you just see occasionally the outline of a great serpent ahead of you, but you're still deep in the smoke. Intelligence saving throw, all of you, as you enter the kind of area of the riddle snake.
Oof. 10 for Boyce.
19. I technically crit.
9.
Reaper's feeling so smart right now after eating all that metal.
Yeah, the only one who fails is Barbella. I think you just get a kind of a headache. Barbella, you take 4 damage.
But Barbella's using all of the brain to navigate the maze and was not ready for additional riddle pressure.
Also, I think you were just trying to swim ahead. Like, you're just getting closer to its, aura immediately. So you feel the pressure inside your head very strongly. As all of you... Oh.
I was say, I want Reaper to go to Barbella and say,
It looks like we're getting close. Can I hold on to the remains?
Is there a reason why?
The second I see that hole, I'm swimming straight forward towards it, and I'm faster than anyone else here.
Is that a correct fact?
yes, Reaper can go about 180 feet in a turn cycle if she wants to.
Is this sincere, or is this an excuse for Reaper to go dump? Oh no, Reaper doesn't have.
She doesn't have the other person's. In her mind,
okay.
that is a great question, but in her mind, she legitimately is like,
This process has been so complicated. Also, she hasn't outwardly said this, but she doesn't trust Allison at this point, that Allison won't do it. So she is just trying to get ahead of it by being like, if I go faster than everybody else, we can make sure there's no struggle at the end of this. We can make sure the person we need to get revived gets revived.
Barbella will reluctantly say yes, and that reluctance is only because Barbella really wanted to be the one to put the thing in the hole, because it's a religious ceremony, essentially. But fine.
thank you.
Better show some respect, Madame Riddles.
I
You know,
appreciate that you trust me. And then she's gonna spit, because she's disgusted she said that. And the spit just kind of floats next to her.
It just dissolves in the water around.
All right. You all are approaching the rattlesnake in this dense cloud of smoke. You all hear in your mind the first of the riddles 3, which goes...
On foot or in a field, I develop. Who am I?
Do they develop rashes on fields? Is that a thing? Bunions? Are there field bunions?
Oh! Is it corn?
It sure is.
Yes. Yes.
As if bolstered by your answer, there's like a wave of some kind of magical force that pushes the cloud ahead of you, Barbella, and you catch another glimpse of the rattlesnake's strangely silvery, colorful scales as it weaves through the water. It seems to go down into the earth, kicking up another great cloud of like silt and stuff, and then it rises in another place. It is so long that you catch glimpses of it to your left and to your right, as if it's when it goes under the ground and comes out somewhere else, and it's still like you can't see the ends either end.
Barbella just sort of looks up and takes it in and goes, "Oh, even if I don't end up putting the thing in the vent, this never gets any less impressive."
All right, so you all are continuing to try to go wherever the rattlesnake is taking you. There are hydrothermal vents all around you, but none appear to be the Well of Resurrection yet. What are you doing here before the next riddle arrives?
Just keeping pace, and as I noted before, Boyce is probably just doing what he's been doing a lot of while in the travels, and that sort of just taking note of the surroundings and seeing kind of like, okay, what other resources can there be pulled from this? I guess the only other thing I could think of is just sort of trying to keep an eye out to see if we can have any signs of those who might be following us, right? See if there's trying to keep an eye out for them.
Sounds like a perception check.
All right. -2 with disadvantage. Let's go. That's not a botch. I rolled a 3, which results in a 1.
Boyce, you're looking around through clouds of black and white smoke, trying not to breathe in because you don't know which ones are dangerous. And you catch a glimpse, like a light, out of the corner of your eye, and then you feel a searing pain with your big failure, and you are going to take 4 damage as something bites you and yanks you away from the party. Roll initiative. You are being attacked. You're under attack.
All right.
Oh dear.
Wow. With disadvantage, Boyce rolls a 19.
Crit 21.
Oh my gosh.
We're in her element, so of course she's just like ready for this.
Barbella, your height senses are so heightened. You're so ready to attack. I will say it's hard to see what is attacking you. The enemy is not literally invisible, but for rules purposes, they are currently invisible to you in the smoke. So I won't reveal them yet. But Barbella, you're up first. So there's smoke on all sides of you, huge plumes of white and black smoke. The scales of the riddlefish taunt you at the edges of your peripheral vision, glinting somewhere in the distance. It's like so hyper sensory overload, and someone is fucking attacking you.
Okay, and I can't see who's attacking me or where they are.
Not currently. That is what you need to figure out.
Okay, is there some kind of skill check I can do to work out where they are? Because I am out of most of my resources of other ways of working that out, besides take a random swing and hope I hit.
Yeah, that's the question. So there's a lot of stuff going on in your environment. There are a lot of elements, and this is kind of like, in a way, this combat is a riddle for you to solve.
Okay, where would I least expect the enemy to? Where would I last? Where's the final place I would try attacking to find the enemy? I want to attack there.
Okay. I think that's insight is what you're asking me here.
Yeah. Sure. That's a straight D20. 13.
Yeah, with a 13, I needed a 15 because you don't know who this person is, you don't know them, what their tendencies are, so you don't know, you need more information to figure that immediately. I will say that that's not a bad thought, is that they're obviously, attacking you from ambush. There's something you could solve, there's a roll you could make, but 13 is not going to get you there. But for your turn, you stop, you pivot, you look around, you take in all the elements. There's the snake, there's the clouds, there's the vents, there's your team. There's stuff to work with, but you on this turn you haven't figured it out.
I guess what Boyce is going to try to do is try to compensate for the difficult environment and cast Guiding Bolt against like where they think the nearest target is, which I'm going to say is, disadvantage because it can't clearly see it, right?
Yeah, sure. If you're going to use a spell slot to shoot a Guiding Bolt and that creates a light effect that can illuminate the area.
If it hits, yes. That's kind of the thing there. Because it's just an attack, and if it hits, it like radiates light, but it doesn't otherwise. Do I have any other way of like actually providing visual guidance? I don't. The only other thing I could even propose doing is effectively using something like Shape Water to use current to push more of the clouds out of the way to better create visibility. Those are the only two thoughts I really have at the moment.
Yeah, if you want to spend your turn using Shape Water to sweep away some clouds to see if you can get a glimpse of your foe, you can do that.
Okay, well we'll do that then to start off there. Yeah, so just Shape Water to start off. Oh wow, that's a big text dump there. Shape Water to basically use the current to actually interesting here. I forgot. You can change the water's opacity.
Yeah.
But so I don't know if that would apply with the cloudiness in here. Would you consider that like a thing that I could change the opacity of?
For some of it, so it's not like because the water is going to continue to move. It's not like it's in a cup or something. It'll just sit there.
Right.
But for a moment, yeah, you can use magic to make a bunch of the water. What's the opposite of opaque?
Clear.
Yeah, there's a specific word. Though.
Translucent.
Oh, transparent.
Yeah, transparent, translucent. And so suddenly, so you see something that was hidden in a cloud of smoke, and I'm going to put an image of your assailant, a kuatoa, a fish person, but of a specific kind of fish person.
An anglerfish.
Anglerfish.
Yeah.
Yep. A huge jaw with a distended, jutting lower jaw, which is like a trap that people fall into, and it has a long projection on the forehead dangling out, which has a bioluminescent tip, which it can flash on and off to kind of trick prey into its mouth. You see this a large person. She is like armored. She's wearing kind of what appears to be some kind of official uniform of something. I think Allison probably yells to you, "Oh my God, that's not one of the Queen's guards. That's the usurper king's executioner."
Cool.
What's their name?
Oh, be on your guard. There's two of them. It's Leo and Oro. They're a team, husband and wife.
Aw, they're married.
Thank you.
She says, "This isn't good. I thought it was going to be my brothers and sisters, and I could maybe talk them down. But this is something else. The king. Oh my God, your town might be in danger.
Wait, what do you mean?
If the king knows that we're trying to skip the line, he doesn't want his sister brought back, the rightful queen restored. He needs to destroy the body part and keep us from doing this."
None of that is going to be what happens today.
Allison looks at you, Reaper, like, "Well, I appreciate your optimism." As Oro, the female executioner, kind of like sinks back into the shadows, you see a light blink on and off, almost tauntingly.
Hopefully, there's still enough visibility for, Reaper to dive in with an attack. That was basically Boyce's main hope there, was give enough visibility for other people to do cool things with it.
Yeah, well, now that you know what your enemy is, you are fighting two anglerfish who are ambush predators from the deep ocean. So you're now going to be able to fight more effectively. So for example, if Barbella, you had gotten a 15 on the insight, I would have said the least likely place for someone to attack you is from within a cloud of dangerous black smoke. Yeah. So that's where they're going to be.
Austin, I have a fish question for you.
Perfect.
Is this am I correct that this is a heterosexual couple of anglerfish?
No, Laura, don't reveal it. Laura, no. I want to reveal it.
Really? You don't want me to say what I know about anglerfish?
Yeah, okay, fine. Yes, you're smart. Tell everybody.
Okay.
You get to do it.
I'm gonna have to tell you why I know about this first, because it's the stupidest reason. There's a indie dating sim called Benthic Love, which is an anglerfish dating sim. And this is the only reason why I know this. Here's the deal with anglerfish. One is what you're picturing, the big fish with the sort of lantern going off the top of it. The other one, the male, is literally just a fucking tiny little blob. It's minuscule, it's nothing. Like, its whole purpose is to eventually bite onto the female and just completely lose itself and become part of the female. Like, its entire purpose is, I'm a tiny little guy that's just gonna bite the woman, and then, like, I don't exist anymore, I'm just part of her now.
I put a picture of him in the chat. He's here too. His skin is translucent. You can see his organs inside of him. He's just a little guy. Oh, yeah, he's so little.
So, my logic here is, if we want to threaten the couple, we go for if we can identify the husband should be considerably more killable.
Yeah, so I guess you can know that in character if you would like. But it's going to be Reaper's turn. You can attack now with disadvantage because you know your enemy is a anglerfish Kuatoa.
Okay. But we still don't know where the other guy is.
Correct.
So, can I attempt to reveal that by, like, doing, like, a tornado kick of sand in every direction?
Yeah, what skill are you trying to use, or what ability?
Just being a fucking monk and having been in a martial arts tournament with an invisible person before, and that person was revealed because they got a bunch of blood all over them. It revealed their silhouette and whatnot.
I want to do this. My only issue is that because, you know, a wizard has to take the ability of shape water, I don't want to give it to you for free because then, you know, it's kind of unfair to the wizard.
It's not. I mean, for me, it's a cantrip, but yeah, I understand your point there. Yes. I guess one thing would be like you could almost treat it like using a key to do a flurry of blows to kind of kick up enough stuff to do that, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid using my key points right now, so I can use them to make the dash afterwards. So I will say if I can't kick it up to create it, just know Reaper is thinking that in her head. Very important martial arts tournament, revealed person by blood. Don't ask how the blood got there. It's problematic. So I'm going to, with disadvantage, try to attack this Kuatoa with my flurry of blows and everything. So 15 for the first attack, 15 for the second attack, and 16 for the last attack.
Holy shit, those all hit. So you just dive into the black smoke and just start wailing on Executioner Oro?
Yeah. I see it. Boom, 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 boom. That is going to be 25 damage.
Oh, wow. That's really good. So she is wearing armor, but you have really powerful punches, and you start wailing on her. At the end of your turn, I'm actually going to roll something against you. Can I get a dexterity saving throw?
Sure thing, dog. 12.
Ooh, you fail. So this is the same thing that was going to happen at the end of Barbella's turn, but she succeeded, which is you hear something swim by you in the smoke, and suddenly you feel a terrible piercing, burning pain as something bites into your side. Oops, I didn't mean to roll that. Let's try this. Boop. 20 damage. Wow, no, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one.
That was a D20 damage.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's the wrong one. 8 damage. As something basically like a knife being stabbed into your kidneys, and you look down, and it is this little bitch ass fish, this little translucent Kuatoa guy. He's just like, it's my birthday, I'm a little guy, and he swims away.
Okay, sorry, I've just realized I've realized how I want to make it canon that Barbella knew about the anglerfish thing. Yeah, Barbella in universe played the anglerfish dating sim. She's real deep into weird dating sims.
The dating swim, yes. Yes.
Yes.
There it is. Yeah, so you said, was this game called Benthic Love? The adjective Benthic means related.
Benthic Love, I believe.
Related to the sea floor is what the word Benthic means.
Yeah, Benthic Love. A game that I believe if you Google Benthic Love, one of the first video results is me playing that dating sim back in 2015.
Incredible.
That is, you are correct. The first thing that shows up in videos is the Laura Plays video on it there from 2015. So
yeah, I'm getting in early on them weird dating sims.
Oh my gosh. All right. So it's going to be back to Barbella's turn. Your enemies, you still have a disadvantage. They're weaving in and out of the smoke. But yeah, now it's no secret. These are who's attacking you. Leo is the male anglerfish. He's just a little guy. And Oro, the executioner, is like a huge fucking bear trap jawed anglerfish. What do you do?
25 to hit Leo.
That's still with disadvantage.
Do I have disadvantage still?
Yeah.
Oh, for being in the thing. 25, even with disadvantage.
Holy cow. Damn it. You're wrecking her shit.
Yeah, and the other hit is going to be to try and hit the other anglerfish. So that's going to be
God.
It's going to be a 22 with disadvantage. It would have been a crit, otherwise, but fine. So 25 and 22 with disadvantage.
Yeah, you wallop both of them with the crab leg spear.
Yeah.
You hear Leo say, "Come on, you wouldn't hit a little guy on his birthday."
on its birthday.
Okay, so we're gonna hit. Wait one sec. Yeah, we're gonna hit the little one first. 11 damage. And 6 damage to the big one.
All right. At the end of your turn, dexterity saving throw.
6.
Yep, not good enough. So you hit both of them with your crab spear, and you don't realize where you're standing in a jet of hot magma shoots up out of the ground because of the volcanic activity and scorches you. You aren't completely swamped by it, but you have to be careful. You're still fighting in a volcanically active region.
Okay.
And the light from the magma, which suddenly shoots up, like briefly illuminates all the participants in the fight, and you see the rattlesnake in the background. Its huge coils going into the earth, and something. I don't know if you've suspected, but like as the rattlesnake appears to dip in and out of the seabed, it leaves behind these huge holes, which seem to be the origin of so many of the vents, which naturally only occur like much deeper, like in our world. So that there seems to be some connection that's not clear to you.
Okay. First thing I'm going to ask on the side: are you contractually obligated that anytime a little guy is in a seat, you have to indicate that it's their birthday?
It's not my fault. It's his birthday. I didn't. It just is.
It's just that every time there's a little guy, it's their birthday. Okay. So what Boyce is going to attempt to do is to help Reaper with her fight against what is the name of the female in this fight here? Oro. Yeah. So I'm going to attempt to hit Oro with a guiding bolt, and we'll see how this goes. That is a 13 on the attempt attack.
That is going to miss.
All right. So let me just burn that spell slot there. Let's see. Do I have anything I can do as a bonus action real quick? I don't think anything meaningful. Yeah, nothing at the moment here. So that's all I can do for my turn for the moment as Boyce tries to keep their distance to avoid getting bit by a little guy too much. But
at the end of your turn, wisdom saving throw.
Cool. That's a 9. So what happens to me?
Yeah, that fails. You see suddenly in the smoke a glowing lure, and you turn to face it, but actually the anglerfish is behind you, and it has draped the lure over your head, so you're facing the wrong way. It's tricked you, and you feel terrible pain as it bites into your shoulder from behind. You take 3 damage.
I thought you were going to say bites in your butt from behind.
Oh my god.
Like that'd be just rude.
That would be. These two are swimming around pretty evasively. They're trying to use cover as they are attacking you, and it's actually their turn. So all of you, I need dexterity saving throws from.
9.
Fail.
10.
Fail.
4.
Oh no. All right, yeah. So these two are going to swim all around very quickly, trying to dart in and out, using confusion. This is their whole thing: is that they're ambush predators. The male is like slamming into you like a bullet, just like taking chunks out of you as he just rams you with his body. This is the thing that the males do, as Laura said, is they literally embed themselves in the female and become essentially like a parasite embedded in their side. It's very gross. And the female, the executioner, is literally just starts biting at your head. She's just trying to completely rip your heads clean off. So you are all going to take 21 damage. Fuck, I did the wrong roll again. That's the wrong one again. 10 damage. I keep hitting
Okay, I have just realized a potential out for this fight if anyone can work out how to do it. If we can create a scenario where when attempting to bite us, the little guy bites the woman, they will become fused and there'll only be one fighter. We just have to manipulate that scenario.
I'm thinking like a drunken master redirecting a blow into someone else.
Yes,
kind of.
yes.
maneuver.
You see what I'm aiming for.
Yes, indeed.
I don't know mechanically how to make that work, but the plan exists.
All right, you are now at Reaper's turn.
Okay. I can still see Oro at this point. I just attack with disadvantage.
Correct.
All right. Let's try it again. 16 for the first attack, botch for the second attack, and 24 for the third attack.
Okay, 16 and 24 hit, but with the botch, you throw a punch, which she intercepts in her terrible mouth full of just the most fucking vile, terrifying, pointy teeth. So roll that damage on yourself, because you have played yourself.
So she'll take 16 damage, and I'll take 6 damage.
All right. A lot of blood in the water at this point. At the end of the order...
I want to turn. I don't know where the little guy is, but I want to say,
Hey, twerp, just so you know, for your birthday, I'm beating up your wife.
Oh, that's not a very good present.
Why don't you come here and I'll give you a better one?
Oh, really?
It's my fist.
Oh. That's not very nice.
Just straight up give your wife a kiss. You know, it's your birthday anyways, right? Right?
Oh, man, this is why I date someone bigger and stronger than me, so when I get bullied, I can call on her. Am I supposed to...
What would be the best way to stay safe? Literally be part of your big strong wife. Go on, go give her a little bite.
I'm not going to tell them I didn't order pickles. Come on, what am I supposed to do?
You'll never have to do that again. Just one little bite. You can give up all responsibility. Just give her a little bite.
At the end of the order, legendary action. Suddenly, Oro's lantern, the lure on the end of her her projection, blazes to light everybody. Wisdom saving throw to avoid being blinded.
10.
There's so much stuff they're doing I have no counter for, because a lot of stuff is predicated on the opponents doing things and not me making saves.
17.
10.
All right, Barbella, you're the only one. I think you go through a black smoker and you don't get flashed as badly. The other two are blinking and are going to be more easily targeted because they have been flash blinded. But it's your turn, Barbella.
Okay. Oh god, let's get back to swinging that crab leg around. Still with disadvantage, is it? Okay. 13, it would have been a crit 27.
Yeah, that's going to miss.
And a 23 would have been a crit 27.
Holy shit. Wait. Oh my god. Okay, so that does hit, but yeah, that would have been really badass.
I'm rolling so many crits that you're denying me, Austin. I could have had so many fucking crits tonight.
Absolutely.
Okay, 23 with disadvantage. I'm gonna stab the little guy.
Oh no, not the little guy. Come on. Come on.
Okay, no. I have the plan.
Yeah, use the plan. Come on.
I want to line this hit up so that it's basically a straight line from me to the little guy to the big gal.
Billiards.
Right?
The billiards gambit there.
I
Yes.
do 7 damage, and I use, as I tried to earlier, my Fury of the Tides to knock the little guy 10 feet, trying to knock him into the big gal.
Wow, you really have this all figured out.
Yeah. How dead are you looking? I've hit you're a tiny little fish, and I've hit you a couple times. How are you looking?
Yeah, the damage rolls haven't been great, but you have hit them both a bunch, so they're both looking pretty rough. But at the end of your turn, can I get a dexterity save, please, Barbella?
Sure. 12.
That is not going to do it. You are going to take, this time I'm going to hit the right dice, and then everyone will be proud of me. 5 damage. This time a lance of light erupts from Oro's lure and just hits you full on in the chest and knocks you back.
Right. It's like my main options are either throw a spell and hope that and hope I hit with that one way or another, or try to throw a spell in the area for them to do a saving throw against. That's kind of like the play I have overall here. And I guess I'm going to attempt to do the latter. So basically seeing where one of those lights blinks, and as soon as I do, casting Shatter as a 3rd level spell centered at where that light happens to be.
All right. And that is a saving throw?
Yes, each target must make a saving throw against a DC of 15.
18 and 14.
For that 18, I will use my reaction to impose silvery barbs. They must re-roll with disadvantage. Well, that make another roll and take the lower result in this case then.
12.
So both of them have failed. So what happens here is Boyce is basically baiting them to succeed at something. So by targeting that blinking point with Shatter, it's meant to do like this big concussive like force damage, which actually is pretty aggressive underwater because of the way it transfers underwater. Have you seen like safes being like opened by just being blown underwater? It's wild stuff. And as soon as one of the two succeeds, Boyce then kind of gleans the idea, throws out like a jesting comment in response, just like, gotcha now, and forces disadvantage on the attack. And Boyce will hand off advantage to Reaper on their next ability check, saving throw, or attack roll. So all that being said, the damage is 22 thunder damage, targeting that spot there and affecting everyone within 10 feet of it.
Yeah, with that damage, you blow a hole in Oro's side, just like her whole abdomen has ripped open, and with a seemingly fatal wound, you have reached the HP threshold for their transformation sequence. Leo swims into the wound and becomes part of his wife as they power up. The light from Oro's lure kind of ripples throughout her whole body, and she is suddenly glowing brightly and seems much more powerful. And he says, "I told you it was my birthday, and I have a wish for you to die."
Is that a collective you or a singular you? Is that like a hypothetical or just some like,
She's gonna eat you, and then I'm gonna taste you.
Delicious.
I mean, I hope I am when that happens, but I'll try to avoid it. Thank you very much.
All right, it is now enemy's turn, and because you blew the hole in his wife's side, together the executioner couple is going to target you with this attack. They just start shooting like radiant guiding bolts out of the lure. That's 25 to you, boys.
That will hit. Yes.
All right, you are going to take 6 damage, and you start glowing. The guiding bolt effect of attacks against you are going to have advantage. It is Reaper's turn.
Okay. So I have a dumb idea.
Please. Ugh.
So I'm so sorry.
Come on, please. Good dumb idea, please.
I think it's a good dumb idea. It's hard for me to see these people, this collective entity. So what if I had a little help, like a almost like my limbs had like a guiding direction to them? So I want to propose the idea of calling out to Allison and ask her to use her little worms to like bite onto my arms and use them to help direct and guide my punches to get rid of the disadvantage.
Okay, I'm having trouble picturing this, but yeah, she is here for you to use. So
imagine Spider-Man coming in and whipping my punches to make them stronger, but I assume this actually hurts because something has to bite into me to do it.
Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, if you want to team attack with Spider-Man, feel free.
Yeah, I want to try to do that, and then I would remove the disadvantage.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, and I get advantage on the first attack because of Boyce. So 14 for the first one.
Miss.
21 and then a crit.
That hits big time.
Okay, it is going to be 23 damage.
Wow. So you and Allison team up, but you can't lay a hand on them by yourself. But with her assistance, you do a very powerful blow. And then at the end of the order, you all feel a ripple of power move through the water. Intelligence saving throw as the second of the riddles 3 happens.
23 for Boyce.
8.
8.
Both Barbella and Reaper are unprepared and take 2 damage as you're probably a blood vessel in your eye pops as you hear the powerful voice of the riddlefish ask,
What is the farmer's approach to curing the ill hog?
What is the farmer's approach to curing the ill hog?
Correct.
Is that the correct wording?
I have one idea. He uses a pick-me-up.
That's pretty good. That's not it, but I do like that. That would be like if the hog was sad. I would definitely accept that, but he's ill.
I was trying to... Look, I can tell you my line of thinking. I'm not at the solution yet. Curing can be a term for, like, making something not ill anymore, but it can also be a term for how you, like, treat the meat. You can cure meat.
Right.
Like, you could have
Yes.
cured bacon. And I don't know if that's getting on the right track or not.
That sounds good enough to be the right answer, though, because there's the double entendre in play there, and you're right. It's
Yeah, he turns him to bacon.
Is that the answer? Turns them to
No.
bacon? No.
No, it's very funny though.
Oh, shit. Ointment.
Barbella's
go.
2 for 2.
Oh. This is the problem with riddles. It just happens. They just form. There we go. Ointment.
Right.
Fucking hell.
We had 3 good answers as a set there, which is pretty
I
wild.
really liked your sketch. I thought that was great.
All right. Reaper punches Leo Oro. That's they're one person now. So that is their title. Barbella, it's your turn again.
Okay. Barbella is just gonna keep swinging with that crab leg because she's got nothing left in the tank at this point.
Yeah.
Right. So still with disadvantage?
Yep. Or you can use Allison. Everyone gets one out. There's one Allison for the
Yeah.
team per round.
23 on the first disadvantaged hit.
Hit.
15 on the second. Does the 15 hit?
Not anymore. It would have. Their stats have increased.
Okay, well I got one good hit. Can I retroactively get some help from our NPC?
No.
No. Okay, that's fine. I got a hit in. One sec. Okay, 9 damage. And can I knock them 10 feet back into a damaging vent? If there's a type that seems like would hurt them.
If that's an ability you have, absolutely.
Yeah, I can hit them back up to 10 feet. So if there's a vent type that I think might do them some damage, I will hit them that direction.
Yeah, if you slam them down and then control the water to push them into even a volcanic geyser, because there's all this hot magma just under the surface, and they are burned badly. At the end of the turn, though, with surprising rapid speed, they shoot back up. This is something where Oro is like the heavy hitter, but slow, and Leo is fast and small. Now they have all the strengths and none of the weaknesses. They bounce back up and slam into you. This is going to be an attack on you, Barbella. 22.
That'll hit, and they don't get disadvantage. No.
Nope, they are benthic predators. So
Cool, sure. Okay, what's the damage?
14.
Ooh, okay.
Yep. Leo
Okay.
Oro just locks jaws on your bicep and is just trying to rip your arm off of your body.
If they're biting in that hard, can I hold on to them, keep them here, keep them as a seeable target?
We'll see. Boyce, it's your turn.
Boyce is at 9 hit points, so has to take a round to kind of prep themselves for what they want to do next. So unfortunately, this is mostly going to be a heal and get out kind of maneuver. So Boyce is going to use a 2nd level spell slot to cast Cure Wounds on themselves. So that would be slash R2D8 plus 4. Heal 9 hit points only, but that's better than what they were before. And then try to basically use their bonus action to get to to get a little separate themselves from what's going on in the moment, to try to get further away and find a good line of attack for the next round. That's all they can really do at the moment because I can't do much else with the bonus actions at the moment.
Yeah. It is now Leo Oro's turn. Can I get a dexterity contest? Because you are locked, Barbella, in combat with this anglerfish Kuatoa couple, and they're like supernaturally fast now, and they're going to try to like swim around and just start slamming you into the vents.
I'm gonna need a real bad roll from them, please.
It looks like an 18, so you got something pretty close to that, right?
That beats a 4.
It does, yeah. They just ram you through the top of the chimneys that are sticking out of the ground, and you are just hit with like waves of acid and poison, one after another. I just hit the wrong button again. I will never learn. I will stop telling me to shut up. I will never surrender. Oh my god, you take 21 damage.
Do I?
Yeah, you do.
I'm still alive, but I'm gonna need someone else to help here. Because otherwise you're gonna have to deal with that last riddle without your riddlesmith.
Oh
That's
my
right.
gosh. That's so close. All right, Reaper, it's your turn. You see Leo Oro wrestle Barbella down using pure speed, slam her through several chimneys, and hot acid, magma, poison, everything hitting Barbella. What do you do?
So I just want to talk you through a bit of my thought process right now.
Perfect.
Reaper ain't doing super hot health-wise. Not at my best. Not quite dead, but getting pretty close. There was a thought in my mind. I was like, what if Reaper just says, all right, I'll let this fight get handled by them. I need to just like start heading towards the vent. But it looks like we're all kind of in a shitty place. So I think Reaper has a moment where she's going to look out towards that glint from the riddlefish and have a moment where she's considering making a break for it. But then she will see Barbella kind of getting thrashed by this duo. And she's going to be like, oh, fine. It's a speed battle you want then. And I'm going to charge at Leo Oro and try to attack.
All right, let's see if you can save Barbella's life.
12, 22, and 18.
All right, 22 and 18 both hit. Let's see if you can deal enough damage. I think it's going to be close.
I believe in you.
It's 19 damage.
Oh, not quite. But yeah, you start wailing on Leo Oro as they're, thrashing Barbella. This is really going to come down to it. Every character in this fight is beat to shit.
Yeah.
Really close. We're gonna, at the end of the order, a legendary action from the boss, Barbella, attacking you.
Is this dexterity contest again?
Nope, 18, I'm attacking you.
Oh, that exactly meets my AC.
I will have Boyce interject with another silvery barbs in this case because they have the reaction back here. So roll again, take the lower results on that.
Crit.
18. So you take the 18.
Yeah.
But I'm giving Barbella advantage on her next check here.
If I survive to take another check.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. You take 11 damage.
Barbella is down.
All right. This is the first time you've gone down in the campaign?
Yeah, this is the first time I believe Barbella's gone down.
All right. So paint me the picture, because this is going to be like, an important injury and a consequence you'll have to, work through. What does this look like? I'm picturing something to do with the vents, because obviously that's part of your religion, so that's really apropos. I don't know what kind of stuff you're interested in.
I think the way this goes is the slam that knocks out Barbella and causes her to lose consciousness slams her so that part of her is overhanging one of the volcanic vents, and until her body can be moved, she is taking quite significant burns sort of diagonally across herself from one of these vents. And I think the last thing she gets out as she is falling to the floor is she looks to Reaper and goes, "You've got to do this for me," as she's going down, in reference to Reaper having the part that's got to go in the vent. Reaper, you're gonna have to handle that last riddle. Barbella's gone now.
Oh,
you are now responsible for the riddle quest.
Oh, God.
This is beautiful. Boyce, you see Barbella get knocked out.
Yeah, there's that is sort of like a eyes widening moment, like a panic sort of kind of washes over Boyce, and they will use their turn to cast the spell Ice Knife at the couple.
Yeah.
So this is an attack roll with disadvantage, right? Still disadvantage on that?
Unless you're using Allison.
I will use Allison for this. So the attack is 19.
That hits.
It does 8 damage, and then the knife explodes. So the couple is forced to make a dexterity saving throw, as well as anyone within 5 feet of it, and then or take an additional 3d6 cold damage. That's a total. So they can do their saving throw, but so they okay.
18.
So they do succeed. They don't take the cold damage, but they take the 8 piercing damage from the ice knife there.
All right. I don't know that there's a way an exploding knife can be non-lethal. So unless you want to walk me through that, how does Boyce kill Leo Oro?
I mean, I would say that because the explosion happens after the knife hits, so I almost like to think of it as they throw the knife and it just pierces through them and then explodes after it passes through, I guess would be a way to describe it, because they don't take any of the cold damage from the explosion. They dodge that effectively. Effectively, Boyce's eyes is wide and almost like thinking, their moment of cowardice is the reason why Barbella was taken out like this. So they, shout out towards Barbella, hand gestures out, and a pristine blade of ice forms and projects from their hand, piercing through basically the lure on the anglerfish specifically. Severing it from the anglerfish entirely before it explodes and little bits of ice shrapnel pierce the exterior of the couple and either knocks them out or bleeds them out. In terms of lethal versus non-lethal, I'd say that this is another situation just like with the first one of the earlier fights, where because their friend is being immediately threatened, they effectively, regrettably, do a lethal takedown here.
Yeah, I think if Leo Oro is bleeding out, you just hear the little voice of the husband say, "We're the same person, so it's actually your birthday too."
And at that point, Boyce is then going to instruct Gowdy to go and try to retrieve Barbella from inside the vent.
At this point, I want to note Reaper is going to take word of Barbella's request, and I am going to start using my key points to take the dash action and start bolting towards the vent.
Yeah, so right now the riddle snake is, weaving in and out of the ground. Its coils are all around you on, the left and the right and above as it weaves its way in and out of the seabed. And it's hard to kind of get a sense of like where the head would even be at, but you're trying to go towards where it's going as you feel, the voice inside your head, a very powerful, booming presence as you get the final riddle before the Well of Resurrection is activated. Are you ready?
Quick question: have I been brought back to consciousness or not?
No, this is Reaper is going to be the riddle master for this arc, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately.
No,
honestly, it's kind of cool.
Look, I would love nothing more than for Reaper to get this riddle right and to prove that riddles are good, actually.
Yeah, so Reaper rushes ahead, holding the scale of the isopod Elfego, and you are going blindly into the darkness, and you hear in your voice. You hear in your mind a booming voice.
My thunder comes before the lightning. My lightning comes before the clouds. My rain dries all the land it touches. What am I?
God damn it. Honestly, that should be in character. Reaper's like,
All the riddles up to now have been like, what's a cow?
Oh, I wish I could fucking help you.
Yeah.
Can I give like hints to help on the right direction?
So, my thunder comes before the lightning.
Yes.
My lightning comes before the clouds.
Mm-hmm.
And my clouds come before...
My rain dries all the land it touches.
Right. So it's something that makes a noise before you see the light. You see the light before the clouds. And then the rain dries out things.
All I will say is I think the second half of this riddle is more important than the first.
Mm-hmm. This is so interesting because it's clear, Laura, you would have nailed it if Barbella was up. So this, the drama here is juicy.
I think about the clouds onward. I think is where to focus.
Okay. So the clouds come before the rain that dries things out.
I also realize, oh gosh, you piece of shit, Austin. I just realized what you're doing here.
Oh my god. Alright, so like the first stupid thought that came to my head was like a weather forecast. That doesn't make sense. All of the riddles have been farming related riddles so far, so I'm almost trying to think agriculturally to some extent.
I will say it's not related, but I don't know if that's helpful. It's tangential.
Oh my god. Okay. I just need to start thinking out loud at this point as like Reaper's trying to think through. So there's a light or like a thing you would see before you would... Sorry, thunder comes before the lightning. Lightning comes before the rain or the clouds. The clouds come before the rain that dries things out. And she's like, it can't just be like a storm in reverse. Like that wouldn't make sense. Can I make some kind of check to try to connect with how Barbella would think this thing through?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like insight.
Okay, I'm gonna try it. I got a 10.
Yeah, I mean, with a 10, I think Laura has it, so it's hard to let her give you like a hint without just giving it to you.
I feel like I've already given you. I can't give you anything else. I don't think. I think I think I will reiterate. Think about where we are, and think about the second half of the riddle more than the first.
We're in an ocean.
Where in an ocean are we?
We are in the trenches. We are near a bunch of volcanic events. Is this a volcano?
Quinn, I will direct your attention to the Discord we're all in.
It's the fucking ash clouds. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's a fucking riddle on a Magic the Gathering card of all fucking things. Amazing.
I've only just looked at this. I didn't realize it was on a fucking magic card. Wow.
I love you all. We might end there unless, Reaper, you solved it. I don't know. Is there anything we can add to this moment to send it out?
I want to note that Reaper is visibly panicking, trying to think this thing through, and has a moment of trying to connect with Barbella and how Barbella's religion works and everything, and has this simplistic moment as she's sort of flying over everything that she comes to this realization of a volcano. And if the pool opens up, I want Reaper to dash towards it and somersault slam dunk this thing into the pool.